lot of when we get to our age group or this later part in life where suddenly we have an awakening or whatever, we start to recognize that we have got to heal our inner child, because
Yeah.
we learn, so much. The first up to, I think, 8 or 9 years, everything you've learned actually defines your life as a
Yeah.
person.
Yeah.
And so childhood is so important, and we
Mm.
all have these sort of things. So can you tell me and the listeners, how did you overcome your inner healing, your inner child, that little girl that had the chaos during the week and the peace during the weekend? What did you do? At what point on this journey? And I know you've said that your young people help you
Mm.
and they inspire you. I have the same with my students. I'm not
Yeah.
going to lie.
Mm.
I love what I do because I see how wonderful they become as people. After 3 years with me, it's beautiful. And it's such a beautiful journey to
Mm.
witness. And it inspires me and it helps me in a lot of ways. And they do teach me. And my
Mm.
children teach me all the time. And I think children do, 100%. So what did you do?
For me, that inner child is still there. So that inner child is still there. However, that inner child is really, really happy. So, even my dad, and he knows, what he put us through and stuff. And he said, he apologizes. And I'm very, very close to my father. I am very close to my father. But yeah, for me, it was, and it's not going to be the same for everybody, I know this, but for me, it was about taking that bad and making good.
Yeah.
And even though it was so traumatic, if you like, growing up, like I said, I go back to I wouldn't change a day. And I still like a little kid now, you know what I mean? I am. I'm still, I'm full of life. I'm very, very blessed. I've got good friends around me. I've got amazing husbands. My children, are all, I love them to bits and that, they're all amazing. But I just think, and if I can teach these young people, or even, families I work with, not just the young people, that you just get that, if you can get that inner strength and use your network, I say your network, use the people around you that can help you with that, support you with that, then you'll get there. Like I said, I didn't get on this journey on my own and be able to do what I mean. I was in the palace last year to a garden party, invited to a garden party. I was, brought up in the Bassett in Barry. Do you know what I mean? Like the Bronx of Barry, if you like. Now I live in the West End of Barry, which is a house on Marine Drive, which the neighbours said to me, your kind don't belong up here. So, and like I said, I'm very, very blessed. To me and my husband, it hasn't been easy, don't get me wrong, but we have been together 30 odd years. We've got through, the bad times. We come the other side, and we're so strong together. We've had to be because of the traumatic experiences he's been through as well. His mother is amazing. She's lost her husband at 50 and her son at 17 in a car crash. But we're a real strong family unit, and nothing's going to break us because we're so strong together.
Can
And
I,
we're lucky we got good friends and people
can
support
I
around
ask
us.
you though? You say you're close to your father. Have you forgiven
Mm.
him?
Yeah, 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 100%. Because there's no point holding on to like the past and somebody like, it's a bit like the saying of Nelson Mandela. Yeah, why? It's only going to make me bitter. It's only going to make me, feel bad. So yeah, I have. I'll do his shopping every week. Yeah, I forgive my dad. So I mean, he went to sea at a young age and things. He was a man's man, like I said. Worked the doors, and to be fair, he was an absolute notorious person, in Barry and even surrounding Barry, Cardiff and stuff. Really, really well known. But like I said, I wouldn't change a thing, a day, the family I was born into. I'm very proud to be his daughter. and despite everything like that, because he put it right in my eyes anyway. And if I leave that bitterness behind, that it's not going to eat away at me. Yeah, bitterness and bitter, it eats away at people. You see the envy and it's like, oh, not for me.
No, it's an incredible story, and it's an incredible testament to your strength, that
Mm,
strength that you talked about.
mm,
And I'm fascinated with the thought that there was that little girl that, and you didn't allow it to define you into anything other than to be able to, okay, yes, you were angry. And
mm,
that's an important sort of, I want to just go touched on that, because anger can be, there's a card in one of my on the soul coaching deck that is called the burning rose, and it's quite an interesting thought when you read about what the card's meaning is. The burning rose meaning is about anger being used in a way that absolutely changes something, a weakness, negativity, anything, anger, into a strength that can be used in a positive way for forward motion, for forward
mm.
movement. And this is what you keep saying. If you didn't do that, you could have your life would have been very differently. You would definitely not have all of the good positive scenarios that you see.
Yeah.
Even though they were dark at times, you still saw that positive. And that is so beautiful to think of.
Yeah, and I just think, like from my point of view as well, it's very much that it is that positive mindset as well. It really is. I do believe that positive, and I try to install that in my own children and the young people I work with, throughout Wales. It's about that positive mind, just trying to take the bad and make the good,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
out of any situation.
Yeah.